Lagos thrummed under a blistering sun, steam rising from dusty roads. In this chaos, Ugochukwu felt the rhythm of the city through each footstep, his world wrapped in darkness. Nearby, Nyambari sensed life in silence, fingertips tracing rough benches, inhaling spicy smoke from street grills. Neither saw the other, yet a single brush of hands near a crowded stall sent shockwaves through both hearts. In that heartbeat, a promise formed that love could bridge darkness and silence. Amid honking horns and hawkers' shouts, two souls connected without words, unaware that their journey would test their faith and redefine hope. It was sunrise in Lagos, heat rippling through the air. Ugochukwu stood at a bustling crossroads, his cane tapping on cracked pavement. Though blind, he heard every shout, hawkers selling peppers, drums echoing from afar. Nyambari walked nearby, guided by gentle hands, feeling every vibration in the earth. Though deaf, she sensed the world, the sun's warmth, the smoky scent of grilled fish. Their hands brushed as they passed a tomato stall. Ugochukwu felt soft warmth. Nyambari felt his heartbeat pulse through his sleeve. In that fleeting touch, their separate worlds merged into one, igniting a spark neither had expected. In Ajagunle, Ugochukwu woke before dawn, led by Emeka, through narrow alleys to his small hut. Inside, grandmother Amaka cooked yam over a smoky fire. Ugochukwu's cane tapped on the dirt as Amaka warned him. "Be careful in the market." He nodded, fingers brushing a faded photograph. Far away in Enugu, Nyambari fetched water from a cold well, her fingertips gripping the bucket's metal lip. Her mother, Ifeoma, mixed Gary for breakfast. Nyambari signed silently, "I'll return safely." Her parents squeezed her hands, worry and pride mingling. Today, Nyambari travelled to Lagos for a school trip. Ugochukwu planned to visit a Braille centre. Their hearts pulsed toward each other. Uzoma boarding school in Enugu sat beneath tall palms. Nyambari felt cool breeze on her face as she touched the school gate's iron bars. She signed "Good morning" to classmates, fingertips dancing. Inside Braille books lined wooden shelves, she traced raised dots, learning light, sound, friend. In town, Ugochukwu and his guide dog, Bruno, arrived at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, following a familiar scent of antiseptic. Volunteers taught Braille in a small room. Ugochukwu's fingers glided over raised dots, unlocking new words. Both prepared to board the same bus to Jankara Market. Neither knew destiny waited in that crowded, noisy place. The rattling bus carried Nyambari and her classmates toward Lagos, each bump raising red dust. She clutched her Braille notebook, imaging city chaos. At the back, friends signed quietly, laughter vibrating through their shoulders. Up front, Ugochukwu guided Bruno into a seat, feeling the dog's excitement as engines roared. He held a folded map with raised lines, tracing roads to Jankara. The bus rolled past villages, the scent of yams mixing with exhaust. Nyambari sensed neighbours pressing close, their warmth a silent greeting. As Lagos loomed, both hearts thrummed with anticipation. Today, their paths merged in a market that buzzed with life and surprises. Jankara Market pulsed with colour, stalls draped in yellow and red cloth, smoke swirling from grills. Ugochukwu and Bruno navigated carts of pineapples. Each footstep sent vibrations through his cane. He heard hawkers shouting, "Fresh tomatoes!" Nearby, Nyambari's guide led her past baskets of peppers and palm oil. She breathed the spicy air. Sudden stumble. Nyambari's ankle twisted on a loose stone. A soft cry reached Ugochukwu's ears. He felt her hand brush his sleeve. He knelt, fingers on her palm. "I'll help," he signed. They moved to a shaded stall. Nyambari sipped sweet coconut water. Bruno rested between them, both spirits light with newfound trust. Nyambari spelled, "You cannot see," tracing Ugochukwu's palm. He nodded. He guided her under a mango tree, roots twisting like secret paths. Hawkers cried, "Yam! Gari!" Nyambari felt carved wood under her fingers, smelling ripe fruit above. Ugochukwu described mangoes, sweet, orange, juicy, each word painting colour in her mind. She closed her eyes, imagining summer trapped inside fruit. He felt the rhythm of distant drums, teaching her the beat. They tasted spicy fried plantain together, warm sweetness dancing on tongues. Bruno chased a loose chicken, feathers floating. Laughter echoed as Nyambari's giggles rippled through Ugochukwu's fingertips. In that shade, their souls intertwined, forging hope in silence and darkness. Whispers spread, blind man converses with deaf girl. Stalls froze, eyes unfocused on their silent connection. Ugochukwu felt stares, guiding Nyambari from the central stalls toward the park's edge. Bruno trotted beside them, sensing their tension. Under rusted fence, they sought refuge. Nyambari traced rough bark, feeling roots creep into the dust. Ugochukwu described vibrant stalls, red peppers, green lettuce, yellow bananas piled high. She imagined each colour as warmth in her mind. He breathed in the sweet smell of fresh donuts nearby. Together, they exchanged childhood memories, Ajagunle's narrow lanes, Enugu's palm-lined school. Each memory wove threads between them, binding hearts beyond sight and sound. Night brought quiet to Ajagunle. Ugochukwu returned home, cane tapping on uneven ground. Amaka greeted him, worry lines in her voice as she cooked okra soup. He described the deaf girl's gentle touch, tracing her laughter in his mind. Amaka pressed her hand to his chest, praying. By lantern light, Ugochukwu practiced braille drills, fingers sliding over raised dots, each dot a spark of hope. In Enugu, Nyambari lay under her mosquito net. Clutching a braille letter, she wrote, "I found him. I will meet again." Ifeoma stroked her hair, tears soft in her eyes. Tonight, two hearts beat in darkness, each guided by light. Dawn painted the sky pink and gold. Ugochukwu donned clean clothes, Bruno at his side, Nyambari wrapped in bright Ankara cloth, beads warm on her wrist. At the bus stop, their palms brushed. "Good morning," he signed. She spelled back, "Good morning." The rattling bus carried them through Lagos. Engines roared, drums pounded, hawkers called. Inside, Nyambari's guide led her to Ugochukwu's side. Bruno settled under seats. At Jankara, bitter-sweet aromas filled the air. Ugochukwu guided Nyambari through maize piles. He smelled fresh coconut water, spooned her a swallow. He taught her hope by spelling on her hand. She traced his letters, excitement trembling through her fingers. Days blurred as they met each morning. Ugochukwu's grandmother served ekpankpo with pepper sauce. He pressed Nyambari's hand on his braille notes, teaching new letters. She traced dots, mind-unlocking stories of heroes. She guided his fingers through new signs: family, friend, future. Under street lamps, their hands danced across each other's palms. They wandered Lagos, alleys smelling of roasted maize, parks where children chased balls, dusty beaches where waves roared like laughter. He painted ocean foam in her mind. She described sand's warmth between toes. Nights, they dreamed of marriage under Lagos skies. Chukwuemeka lurked, hatred dark as rain clouds, plotting to shatter their fragile bond. One humid evening, they walked to Tarkwa Bay. Sand welcomed their barefoot steps. "Feel the sea," Ugochukwu signed. Nyambari ran fingers along his shoulder, tasting salt on her skin. Bruno barked at scuttling crabs. Sunset stained sky orange. Suddenly, Obinna loomed, mocking their union. Ugochukwu stepped forward, Bruno snarling. Nyambari felt panic ripple like icy water. Obinna shoved Ugochukwu onto the sand. Bruno lunged. Obinna cracked Bruno's head. Bruno yelped, retreating. Ugochukwu knelt, brushing sand from Bruno's fur. Nyambari knelt, pressing ginger on his wound as tears burned. A fisherman's shout forced Obinna away. Waves lapped at their feet as they huddled together, hearts quaking. Late at night, Ugochukwu and Bruno returned home. Tin roofs rattled overhead. Stray cats slunk past. Amaka rushed to Bruno's side, cleaning his bleeding wound. Ugochukwu knelt, fingertips trembling as he felt warm blood beneath his nails. Nyambari waited upstairs, pressing palms to bedsheets, sensing the fear in each creak. Amaka murmured, "He will heal." She pressed Ugochukwu's forehead with a damp cloth. He hummed an Igbo lullaby he learned from his father. Bruno whimpered, nudging Ugochukwu's hand. In Enugu, Nyambari lay under her net, moonlight painting patterns on the floor. She traced Braille on her letter, "I trust you. Be safe." Ifeoma watched, worry soft in her eyes. Morning light striped the dirt floor. Bruno wagged weakly when he heard Ugochukwu's voice. Ugochukwu knelt, stroking his friend's damp fur. "Rest," he whispered. Amaka brewed pepper soup. Spicy steam warmed the hut. Ugochukwu inhaled, steeling himself. He could not leave Nyambari. In Enugu, Nyambari packed her bag, Braille books, clothes, letters. Ifeoma pressed folded cloths into her hands. A dress, a thick wrapper. Nyambari sighed into fabric, tasting home. She signed, "I will return soon." On the bus, Nyambari slammed her palm to her chest, heart pounding, imagining Ugochukwu's embrace. Meanwhile, Ugochukwu and Bruno headed to Jankara. Nyambari's fingers tapped impatiently on the bench. He knelt, feeling her warmth in his palm. "I missed you." They practiced sign and braille under street lamps, hands tracing patterns at night. Ugochukwu spelled love, Love. Nyambari returned it, fingers trembling. Bruno whimpered between them, demanding attention. Ugochukwu guided Nyambari to a studio where they carved masks. Nyambari's fingers felt rough edges. Ugochukwu described sun and rain in each pattern. Their mask formed half red, half blue, eyes wide open. Meanwhile, Chukwuemeka pounded his fist on a rough Lagos map, circling Jankara with red ink. "They must suffer," he snarled. Ugochukwu and Nyambari, unaware, tasted fresh orange juice under a tree. Love filled their hearts even as danger brewed. July rains hammered Lagos, flooding alleys and turning roads to muddy rivers. Ugochukwu and Bruno waded through ankle-deep water to reach Ugochukwu's hut. Water dripped from the tin roof onto cracked floors. Amaka moved pots to catch drips. Ugochukwu wrote a braille message, "Come to Lagos. I need you." Emeka delivered it by noon. Nyambari, back in Enugu, felt the envelope's raised dots, flooding. Fear grows. She raced home, packed braille books, letters, clothes. Chukwu wrapped a thick cloth around her shoulders. Ifeoma prepared hot yam paste. On the bus to Lagos, Nyambari imagined Ugochukwu waiting in rain. Under a battered umbrella, they reunited. "You came." Tears mixed with raindrops. Rain pummeled Lagos like fists on tin. Ugochukwu and Nyambari huddled under a tattered umbrella, Bruno shivering beside them. Suddenly, Chukwuemeka emerged, drenched, eyes blazing. He pressed a knife to Ugochukwu's ribs. Nyambari gasped, chest tight as a caged bird. Ugochukwu steadied his breathing. "Stay behind me," Bruno snarled. Chukwuemeka slashed Bruno's side. Bruno yelped and bolted. Ugochukwu fell, feeling panic surge like deadly waves. Chukwuemeka grabbed Nyambari's arm, twisted it. "Leave Lagos before I kill you," he spat. Nyambari pressed her palm to his chest. "No fear," he sneered, retreating into the darkness. Rain blurred Ugochukwu's vision. Nyambari tended Bruno's wound, whispering prayers. Love endured the storm. Sunshine returned, washing Lagos clean. Ugochukwu and Nyambari, Bruno limping beside them, walked to Lagos Island. Towering buildings glinted, their shadows stretching across busy streets. Ugochukwu tapped pavement with his cane, guiding Nyambari through honking taxis and shouting hawkers. She closed her eyes, feeling skyscraper shapes press against her palm. They reached a small white church. Ugochukwu felt cool marble under his feet. Inside, the priest signed prayers. Nyambari returned them, her fingers dancing. They joined Braille and palm reading prayers, warmed by faith. After the service, a vendor sold akara and pap. Nyambari tasted sweet warmth. Ugochukwu described stained glass patterns, blue and red shards of light. They vowed marriage in that church. Months passed. Nyambari and parents moved to Surulere, Lagos, in a pale yellow apartment. Inside, Nyambari traced new furniture, wooden bed frame, smooth table, braille shelf. Emeka and Femi filled the rooms. Jollof rice aroma fizzed in the air as Emeka visited. Femi pressed a beaded necklace into Nyambari's palm. "Welcome home," they signed. Amaka's pepper soup spiced the kitchen. Nyambari wept joy and gratitude. Tailors measured her for a white brocade dress with red embroidery. Each stitch, guided by Ifeoma's hands, formed hearts. Ugochukwu rehearsed sign vows under a small courtyard tree. "I will guide you through darkness," he spelled. Nyambari signed back, "I will bring you light." Hearts entwined. Chukwuemeka lurked near Ayobo tracks, eyes burning. Rain slicked the path as he spotted Nyambari's parents unloading rice and yams. He crept closer, knife hidden. After dark, Chukwuemeka knocked on Ugochukwu's door. Ugochukwu opened, blade pressed to his stomach. "Where is she?" Chukwuemeka hissed. "Tell me, or her hands die." Nyambari trembled. Ugochukwu said, "She is safe." Bruno lunged. Chukwuemeka slashed his side. Dog yelped, retreating. Ugochukwu pressed his palm to Bruno's bleeding wound. Nyambari knelt, pressing ginger and salt. Chukwuemeka smashed Ugochukwu's cane, splinters falling, and vanished into rain. Ugochukwu cradled Bruno. "Stay, buddy." Nyambari pressed palms to cheeks. "We survive for love." Dawn illuminated the splintered cane on the cement floor. Bruno lay on a blanket, shallow breath fading. Ugochukwu knelt, pressing ginger and salt to the dog's wound, each dot of healing. "You are brave," he whispered, stroking damp fur. Bruno's tail thumped once, then he relaxed. Nyambari stood near the door, braille notebook clutched, tears slipping down unseen cheeks. Amaka offered bowls of pap and akara. Ugochukwu tasted the spicy dough, each bite a promise to survive. Invited villagers arrived. A carpenter mended the door. A seamstress repaired Nyambari's wrapper. A herbalist brewed salves. Kindness felt like sunrise. They wrote braille invitations. "We marry soon. Celebrate hope." That night, Ugochukwu spelled together, unbreakable. Harmattan dust swirled as Ugochukwu and Nyambari moved to Akoka. Mr. Oladipo's compound had sturdy bars, a metal door. Nyambari traced the cool cement floor, safety in every step. Bruno patrolled, nose twitching. Ugochukwu signed to landlord. Strong locks, nightly guard needed. Musa, silent and watchful, held his rifle. By day, Ugochukwu led visually impaired units at the hospital, guiding canes, teaching braille. Nyambari taught sign at a community centre, fingers flowing like water. Evenings they reunited at the gate. Bruno bounding. "We are safe," Ugochukwu spelled. She replied, "Love protects." Yet every distant engine made them tense. They clung to faith and each other. December burst with sunshine as wedding day neared. Piles of envelopes awaited Braille inscription. Ugochukwu traced each name, sending them with Bruno's help. Nyambari visited a salon, feeling soft brushes sweep her face. Tailors stitched her white dress with red hearts, fingertips tracing every swirl. Ugochukwu practiced signing vows under a small mango tree. "I promise to guide you through darkness," he spelled. Nyambari signed back, "I promise to bring light." On registry day, they rode a Danfo bus over bumpy roads. Ugochukwu guided Nyambari into a white columned office, marble cool underfoot. They signed raised letter pens, maps of their future embossed in paper. "Married," the clerk declared. Their palms pressed, hearts soared. White ribbons fluttered outside the small church under a blue sky. Nyambari arrived on her father's shoulders, feeling wind fill her lungs. The wooden pews smelled of polished pine. She touched the seat's smooth grain. Ugochukwu waited at the altar, cane in one hand, Braille vows in the other. The priest, fluent in sign, guided Nyambari to a front pew. Ugochukwu knelt, fingers tracing her fingers in prayer. Guests gathered. Aunt Ngozi's hands arranged flowers. Elders pressed palms to Nyambari's parents in pride. Children buzzed with excitement. Sunlight filtered through stained glass, warm shards scattering on cold stone. Ugochukwu read his vows. "You showed me beauty," Nyambari responded. "I found light." Cloth rings exchanged, embodying love beyond fear. High-life music pulsed across the churchyard. Nyambari felt hugs through her wrapper, tasting sweet palm wine on her tongue. Ugochukwu danced, cane tapping rhythms underfoot. Stall owners laid jollof rice, pepper soup, grilled fish on wooden tables. A spicy suya smoke curled in the warm air. Nyambari's stomach rumbled as she sniffed each aroma. Guests drifted around, whispering praises. Beautiful couple. Ugochukwu signed memories. Bruno's rescue, shared dreams of a home in Enugu. Nyambari signed bright fireworks overhead. Lanterns glowed as dusk fell. Children's laughter filled the night. In the crowd, Chukwuemeka watched, envy smouldering. Yet joy hovered like incense, love's sweetness weaving through the gathering. Stars sprinkled the sky as they returned to their apartment, dim lamps lighting cracked paths. Wedding gifts awaited, a Braille typewriter, cane crafted from carved wood, sacks of rice and beans. They touched each gift's texture, gratitude warming their hearts. Amaka's brook white pepper soup steamed, healing their tired souls. They shared whispered vows. Build a school for deafblind, Ugochukwu spelled. Nyambari replied, teach them to read, to sign, to belong. They fell asleep, holding hands. Suddenly, Ugochukwu's phone buzzed. A message from Emeka. Chukwuemeka is searching for you. Fear froze them in place. Bruno growled softly, sensing darkness. Nyambari pressed her palm to his chest. We survive. Ugochukwu kissed her palm, resolve forging their future. Their new home in Akoka had bars on every window and a thick metal door. Nyambari traced textured walls, feeling strength beneath her fingers. Bruno patrolled the compound, nose twitching. Ugochukwu signed to Mr. Oladipo, guard nightly. Musa, silent in his uniform, nodded. By day, Ugochukwu led a hospital unit screening visually impaired children. He guided canes, taught Braille, hearts alight with purpose. Nyambari taught sign at a community centre, fingers flowing like gentle streams. Evenings they reunited under dim lantern light. Bruno bounding ahead. We are safe, Ugochukwu spelled. Love shields us, Nyambari replied, yet each distant horn tunneled fear. Their bond, however, remained unshakable. Clinic doors opened to children with white canes, seeking guidance. Ugochukwu greeted them, fingertips gliding across raised Braille charts. Nigeria, Africa, hope. He guided tiny hands over a tactile map, each ridge teaching geography. Nyambari arrived at lunch, signs flowing. Please, thank you, friend. Her gestures painted warmth on eager palms. Bruno lounged in shade, tail thumping at each pat. At home, Ugochukwu and Nyambari sewed a quilt for a fundraiser. Fabric scraps of yellow, blue, green wove hope into every square. Late nights they stitched, glue of love holding tender seams. Suddenly, a whisper. Chukwuemeka's gang returns. Planning arson. Nyambari's fingers trembled. Ugochukwu's heart tightened. They braced for storm. December's sun lifted spirits as they journeyed to Enugu. Land smell warm under banana trees. Nyambari traced her father's shoulder as they bounced over red potholes. Ugochukwu tapped his cane, mapping every bump. At their plot, wooden beams rose, walls of rough planks, thatch roof waiting. He ran fingers over grain, imagining classrooms full of braille books. Nyambari felt cool soil beneath her slippers, smelling cassava flowers. Villagers hammered nails under her watchful guidance. Cousins carried palm fronds for roofing. At dusk, they gathered under a baobab tree, rough bark pressing through grass. Pounded yam and palm wine welcomed them. Nyambari signed Lagos stories. Ugochukwu painted ocean waves in her mind, yet distant hum of motorbikes warned danger. Beneath a blossoming baobab, Nyambari arranged braille slates and books as children gathered. She pressed a blind boy's fingers to raised dots spelling flower, his smile bright as dawn. Nearby, Ugochukwu guided a group through a tactile map of Nigeria, each line teaching new lands. Bruno lay shaded, tail thumping in greeting. Suddenly villagers yelled, "They come!" Fear sharpened Nyambari's focus. "Inside, quickly," she signed. Ugochukwu led children under a half-built veranda. Their breathing echoed in the hush. Chukwuemeka's gang burst through tall grass, machetes glittering. Ugochukwu stepped forward, cane raised. "Leave them." He fell as steel met flesh, pain searing, blood warm. Nyambari fought, cane striking cruel hands. Chaos erupted, love and cruelty collided. Ugochukwu collapsed, leg burning as a machete grazed him. Nyambari knelt, pressing her palm to his arm. "Stay with me." Bruno snarled at attackers, forcing them back. Children huddled, sobs muffled under shelter. Chukwuemeka advanced, knife raised. Nyambari cracked her cane against his wrist. Steel clanged, machete flew. "No one harms my family," her sign demanded. Fierce as thunder, gang retreated, rage echoing in fading footsteps. Villagers emerged, carrying Ugochukwu to a makeshift clinic. Auntie Bisi cleaned, bandaged. Nyambari pressed palm to his fevered forehead. Bruno whimpered, licking his wound. Under dim oil lamp, Ugochukwu drifted. Nyambari's fingertips spelling, "I love you," on his palm. Love endured even in blood. Days blurred. Ugochukwu lay on straw mattress, bandages wound tight. Each shift sent fire through his leg. Nyambari remained at his side, soaking cloths, whispering prayers. Fingers traced fevered cheeks. Bruno lay at their feet, head heavy. Auntie Bisi stitched, humming Igbo lullabies. Outside, villagers rebuilt shattered veranda. Women pressed bowls of pap into Nyambari's hands, signing encouragement. Mama Ifua whispered, "He will heal. Your love saved him." Nyambari felt hopes tremble. Each night, she visited half-built school walls, tracing rough concrete with trembling fingers. "I will finish this," she signed to herself. Under hovering stars, she returned to Ugochukwu's bed, pressing fingertips to his palm. "My light, stay with me." Spring arrived. Baobab blossoms scented the air. Ugochukwu, on crutches, took slow steps, scar tracing silver across his calf. Nyambari guided his palm to textured walls of the school's near-finished rooms. Children chattered, tapping canes on concrete floors, tracing fresh braille slates. Nyambari taught under baobab shade, letters dancing across palms. Ugochukwu tapped rhythms on a metal drum, each beat a lesson. Bruno chased chickens, tail wagging in joy. Villagers brought bright paint, yellow, blue for walls. At dusk, they feasted, jollof rice and tilapia's smoky taste lingering on tongues. On a raised platform, Ugochukwu tapped his cane. Your kindness built hope. Nyambari, tears wet on cheeks, signed, thank you. The school thrived under baobab shade. Each morning, canes tapped new concrete, fingers danced across braille slates. Ugochukwu guided with gentle hands, teaching geography and poetry. Nyambari taught sign, her fingertips painting words in children's palms. Bruno patrolled, alert and proud. One afternoon, Chika arrived, blind and deaf. Nyambari pressed gentle fingers into child's palm. Welcome. Chika's shy smile bloomed under careful touch. In Lagos, news spread. Chukwuemeka arrested for attacking the school. Hatred turned in on itself. That evening, under glowing lanterns, students performed sign dances, spreading courage in each movement. Ugochukwu grasped Nyambari's hand. Your dream lives. She pressed his palm against her cheek. Tears of triumph. Days hummed with simple joys. Nyambari kneaded akara dough, flour dusting her palms. Ugochukwu guided bristles along Bruno's fur before heading to classes. They journeyed to the market, husked corn, steaming in leaf wrappings, each ridge felt by Nyambari's fingertips. Ugochukwu exchanged greetings for fresh yams. Chijioke, once a foe, donated beans. His daughter, now a braille reader, Nyambari touched each bean, tasting community's kindness. Memories of violence lurked, rain-triggered ache in Ugochukwu's scar, yet love endured. One starlit night, Ugochukwu knelt under baobab, offering a braided cloth ring. Nyambari pressed palm to his, again, forever. Bruno barked, tail wagging. Love triumphed under vast skies. Visitors arrived, cameras clicking. Nyambari guided them through classrooms, fingers tracing braille, screens speaking letters aloud. Ugochukwu demonstrated mobility drills, tapping canes on textured mats. Bruno led children in joyful games. In Enugu, Nyambari knelt by Ugochukwu's grave under mango shade, fingertips pressing carved letters. Protector of hearts, tears blurred her vision. Your dream lives, she whispered. Back in Lagos, she walked halls echoing children's laughter, each raised braille line a testament to love's power. At a ceremony, a medal lay in her palm. For service to humanity. She traced engraved words, imagining Ugochukwu's proud smile. Bruno's muzzle grey, eyes gentle, he leaned against her leg. Guardian of hope. In Lagos, Nyambari's home overflowed. Tactile photos lined walls, plaques gleamed. One read, Ugochukwu Memorial Braille Centre. Bruno lay at her feet, muzzle grey. Each morning, Nyambari read letters. A teacher in Kano, an entrepreneur in Abuja. She volunteered at the hospital, guiding patients' hands to feel canes. Evenings, she and Tunde, her second husband, walked to Baobab near school. They placed fresh flowers on Ugochukwu's grave, air scented by cassava blooms. Their children, twins skilled in medicine and architecture, played nearby with guide puppies. Nyambari pressed Tunde's palm. Love endures. He squeezed back, braille messages etched in his fingers. Bruno sighed, content, faithful to the end. Bright afternoon sun warmed the courtyard as alumni gathered for a decade celebration. Flags snapped in breeze, banners read, 10 years of light. Nyambari led blind graduates through a new computer lab, feeling braille displays beneath fingertips. She traced keyboards that spoke aloud letters. Ugo Chukwu's former volunteers, now teachers, spoke through sign. Aisha's words echoed, "You empowered us." Nyambari pressed palm to her heart, tears moist on cheeks. Bruno barked, chasing stray leaves. At dusk, white lanterns rose, each bearing a braille message, "Light in darkness." Nyambari felt warmth in her palm as each lantern lifted skyward, a constellation born of love and hope. Nyambari yearned to share their story globally. With Tunde and Bruno, she flew to America, stepping onto polished airport floors guiding her cane. In New York, she traced spiral walls of the Guggenheim, absorbing art through touch. She visited schools where braille and sign coexisted, sharing techniques. Hands clasped hers, transmitting gratitude. She taught American friends carving Nigerian wooden masks, each groove telling homeland tales. Returning to Lagos, she brought braille tech books and sign apps. Implementing them at her school, children's horizons widened. Villagers drummed under moonlight to celebrate her return. Nyambari tapped her palm to Ugo Chukwu's gravestone. "Your dream spans continents." Bruno wagged, passports clutched in spirit. Decades passed, Ugo Chukwu's scar faded, but memory burned bright. Nyambari and Tunde raised 4 children, 2 hearing, 2 deafblind. Each learned braille and sign, then soared. Ada choreographed sign dance routines. Emika's glove transformed sign into tactile language. Twins Ife and Ike crafted sensory-friendly spaces across Nigeria. Home overflowed with laughter and braille journals. Nights by Baobab, children traced story letters under Nyambari's guiding palm. Bruno's older descendants snuffled around, tails sweeping dust. On a firefly-lit evening, Nyambari pressed Tunde's palm. "Look how far we've come." He nodded, heart full. In distant winds, she felt Ugo Chukwu's spirit, each breath a whisper of love's unending journey. Sunday dawn brought gentle rains cooling Lagos dust. Nyambari found Bruno struggling, breaths shallow. She knelt, palm pressed to his chest, feeling heartbeat flicker. Tears blurred her mind. Tunde rushed, lifting Bruno outside, where wet grass whispered beneath paws. The world felt too bright. Each smell, each sound, sharper. Bruno whimpered, sniffing his play spaces, now aching memories. Nyambari held his head, whispering prayers. Bruno's gaze met hers, trust shining. He exhaled one last breath. Heart fracturing, Nyambari pressed her palm to his muzzle. "Thank you." Under mango shade in Enugu, she buried him beside Ugo Chukwu, pressing palms to headstones, beloved protector. Grief wove through love's tapestry. Winter rains cooled Lagos dust as Nyambari returned to teaching, heart heavy. She guided pupils' hands over braille. Love endures, light in darkness. Bright eyes mirrored hope. Each child pressed her palm in gratitude. Tunde noticed her sorrow, signing, "We carry their spirits." She nodded, tears dampening his palm. At school's anniversary, a bronze Bruno statue stood sentinel, loyal stance, tail raised. Nyambari touched cold metal, whispering, "You saved us." Students pinned ribbons to his collar, signing, "Thank you, Bruno." Puppies in braille cooed around them, soft fur under curious fingertips. Rain drummed gentle rhythms on tin roof as Nyambari felt sorrow and joy dancing. December dawned bright as Nyambari prepared for a ceremony unveiling the Ugo Chukwu Memorial Wing. White ribbons adorned the entrance. Children held fresh blooms. Nyambari's cane tapped concrete steps, guiding Tunde's steady hand. Bruno's bronze statue stood proud. Dignitaries gathered, murmurs soft as wind. The governor, in flowing agbada, signed a speech. His love changed lives. Nyambari's fingers traced plaque letters, Ugo Chukwu Memorial Wing. Tears pricked her eyes. Students signed Amazing Grace, floorboards vibrating with music. Ribbon fell. Children led guests through new spaces, a computer lab with braille displays, sensory garden blooming with fragrant flowers, a quiet room for sign practice. Hope shone in every corner. In the sensory garden, Nyambari heard singing in Igbo. She followed her heart's compass, finding Mama Ebele planting hibiscus. The woman's gentle humming carried wisdom. Nyambari touched Mama Ebele's wrist. "I heard you," she signed. Mama Ebele's trembling fingers squeezed Nyambari's. "My granddaughter attended this school via interpreter. Now in America, she designs braille devices." Nyambari's heart soared. She pressed fingertips to her lips. Mama Ebele traced raised braille onto Nyambari's palm. "You gave my child wings." Tears spilled, each dot a testament to love's reach. Nyambari knelt, signing gratitude. "Thank you." Two hearts connected across time, united by legacy. Under a soft dusk, Nyambari and Tunde sat beneath the baobab. Children's laughter drifted, lanterns glowing like distant stars. Nyambari pressed her palm to Tunde's. "Our love built this." He traced her veins, replying, "Yes, and it endures." Memories of Ugochukwu surfaced, laughter, guidance, faith like a beacon. Nyambari felt both joy and sorrow braided in her heart. She leaned into Tunde, grounded by his strength. They vowed to expand, a dormitory for distant students. The baobab's branches swayed as if blessing them. In twilight's hush, Nyambari realized life's meaning. Love transcends darkness, binding hearts across generations. Years later, Nyambari and Tunde celebrated their silver anniversary under the same church. Family gathered, 4 children with braille journals, nieces signing congratulations, elders sharing laughter lines. Nyambari guided children's hands to sign congratulations. Each small movement a dance of joy. Ugochukwu's nieces held his photo, tracing his features with loving fingers. In the yard, Bruno's statue stood, solid and eternal. As dusk painted the sky orange, they released white doves, each carrying a ribbon inscribed, "In memory of Ugochukwu." The birds soared, wings whispering freedom. Nyambari pressed her palm to Tunde's. "Forever," she signed. He kissed her palm, hearts full under fading light. Under a scorching sun, Nyambari and Tunde travelled to Abuja's Grand Conference Hall. Polished marble underfoot, hundreds awaited. Nyambari tapped her cane with confidence, fingers tracing raised Nigeria maps on the podium. She shared her journey, from Jankara's chaos to baobab classrooms. Tunde detailed their dream, a mobile braille library for remote villages. As applause rose, Nyambari felt warmth in her palm, imagining Ugochukwu's proud grin. Return to Lagos felt triumphant. Cameras followed them to the school. News headlines lauded their work. Children dashed forward, palms reaching hers. "We thank you." Nyambari knelt, tears of pride. Love's story now inspiring beyond borders. Decades unfolded, Ada danced on screens, sign language swirling with music. Emeka's non-profit delivered braille devices across rural schools. Twins Ife and Ike crafted sensory-friendly spaces in hospitals and homes. Family laughter filled Nyambari and Tunde's Lagos home. Evenings under Enugu's mango shade, grandchildren traced letters on worn pages, each story echoing Ugochukwu's dreams. Bruno's descendants padded at their feet, loyal guardians. One grandchild, Chichi, painted with her fingertips, smiles bright. Nyambari and Tunde watched tears of joy. Love's legacy blossomed. Each new generation carried seeds of hope. Nyambari pressed her palm to Tunde's. All came from a single touch. He squeezed back, hearts woven into time. Warm June air brought UNESCO's letter, textured words praising Nyambari's school. Your work inspires the world. Tundi squeezed her hand. Welcoming film crews, they guided cameras through classrooms, braille displays, sign lessons, laughter wrapped in hope. Journalists typed as children spelled questions into Nyambari's palm. Image of Ugochukwu's statue, bronze gleaming under morning sun, captured hearts. Interviews flowed. Love, determination, community built this school. As the crew packed, Nyambari pressed her palm to baobab roots. Your dream spans continents. Bruno's descendants circled, tails wagging. Nyambari closed her eyes, breathing deeply. Their journey's echo stirred global faith that love can conquer silence and darkness. Decades after first meeting, Nyambari and Tunde sat on Tarkwa Bay's sand. Waves whispered beneath blazing sun. Salt kissed their faces. A small replica of Bruno's statue warmed between them. Nyambari tapped its nose. "Dear friend, you saved us." She closed her eyes, reliving the morning they first met under Lagos heat. Tunde traced her fingers, signing, "Your courage changed lives." Nyambari felt each gentle press, heart swelling. Children, some blind, some deaf, some both, laughed nearby, playing in surf. A guide dog yipped as it splashed in shallow waves. Nyambari smiled, knowing Ugochukwu's spirit lived in each joyful cry. Sunset painted horizon. Love endured. In their final years, Nyambari and Tunde rested beneath Enugu's baobab, surrounded by family and students. Grandchildren traced letters on their palms, sharing stories of Ugochukwu, Bruno, and sacrifices made. Nyambari felt bark's rough texture beneath her fingertips, earth's fragrance blending cassava and fresh grass. Tunde signed, "Our journey is complete. We gave the world light." Nyambari's fingers trembled. Yes, love carried us. Bruno's descendants lay nearby, guardians in twilight. As dusk settled, Nyambari pressed her palm to Ugochukwu's headstone one last time. "We will meet again." In golden glow, Nyambari and Tunde's hearts intertwined. Final breaths, a soft exhale of peace. Under baobab's embrace, love's harmony echoed forever. If you loved this story, subscribe, like this video, and also tell me in the comments section if you would marry or get married to a deaf or blind. Thank you.